Namaste, Jai Bharat. Pahalgam terrorist attack in Kashmir by explicitly by Pakistan. Pakistan has recently learned a technique from Iran. They create proxy army. Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, etc. terrorist outfits. Pakistan would actually say that we have nothing to do with them, but then it has become a long story that Pakistan is the master behind all those things. So now again they created a different terrorist front, which is another version of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. I would like to call them Lashkar-e-Shaitania or Jaish-e-Iblis, etc. That should be the real name for these people. Lashkar-e-Taiba, like Lashkar-e-Shaitania and Jaish-e-Iblis, all those things. You can keep changing, which actually they are. Now, this terrorist attack, if you recall, some time back, see, Hamas was being thrashed in Israel, and that time some of the Hamas people were brought with great reverence and respect to the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. They had been there for some time. Some functions they have conducted by this Lashkar kind of people. Different names, but they're all the same. So then itself you should have read that this now Hamas can't really, they have lost all their tunnels in Gaza. So they would look for other places to survey, because the only thing that they know in life is to kill people and this terrorist industry. So they came to Kashmir with all these things. Now they were planning how can Hamas redefine themselves in the context of Pakistan occupied Kashmir. This was very explicit. Sensible people all knew this. Now look at the context, the time which they have made. The Hamas attacked innocent Israelis when they were having a celebration of some festivals. At the time when Israel was signing the Abraham Accord with Saudi Arabia. And our Prime Minister is in Saudi Arabia just to discuss business. We are not bothered of finding out ways and means to disturb the neighbors. We don't care. We don't have time and energy to spend for that and waste for that, rather. When the Prime Minister is in Saudi Arabia, the timing. Then, the Vice President of US was in India. That time. And Kashmir was making tremendous progress. And the way the Islamic nations are becoming very close friends to Bharat, and the way Arab nations are becoming very good friends to US and other nations of Europe, Pakistan cannot digest. Pakistan wants the Pakistan people, especially the Pakistan, specifically speaking, the Punjabi Muslims of Pakistan, they want to be greater than thou. Greater than thou. They want to become much better Muslims than the Arabs. Rather, they are sure they are the best Muslims in the world than all people all over the world. That's how they have differences among themselves. That's a funny story, but then that's a reality. So that greater than thou attitude of these Punjabi Muslims in Pakistan, they are suffering. Very recently, the army chief, for them the army chief is the person who creates everything. For many Pakistanis, army chief is authority, and the elected whatever Prime Minister has no real good say. And the Pakistani chief, Punjabi, Muslim Punjabi, and Prime Minister Punjabi. Now, who is not a Punjabi? So, the entire acquisition of Pakistan directly goes to the Punjabi Muslims who are really not Punjabis for various reasons. They don't even speak good Punjabi. I keep telling that. So, this person comes and gives a wonderful talk. He just repeats the two-nation theory. He says two-nation theory is the absolute truth. He repeats. And he says that's our ancestors were right. No. And he reiterates that Hindus and Muslims can't live together. so Hindus should be eliminated. That used to be the case in the past. Now that's a problem with the what is called the Darul Islam kind of attitude. The whole world they want. Jamaat Islam is that. And what are the Maududis? They are also called Maududis. Their attitude is that they wanted to create the entire world in their own manner. Now, don't misunderstand. They wanted to create an Islamic world, and they will stop with that. They each one means Islam in a distinct way. So it will all end up in conflicts with one another. Initially, when like people like Muhammad Iqbal, when they spoke, Islam is a unity. See, his speech in Allahabad, the presidential address of the meeting in the Indian Union Muslim League, sorry, All India Muslim League of those days, he speaks Islam is a polity, Islam is a unity. He thought that. He really believed Islam is a unity, but that's really not the case, because as we see, as they themselves, even those days itself, they had distinct notions of Islam. Different people understood Islam in distinct way, and they are, each one of them are trying to be exclusive. So there is natural conflict, contradiction one another. It's not that religion; it's the way they discuss, understand, and internalize religion. That's the most funny way. So this kind of thing, it's not going to be Darul Islam in that sense of the term, because they can't even aspire because of the inherent internal contradictions. But that's what is getting projected. Basically, the Maududi kind of attitude. The Maududi attitude is not just new. You can trace it back to Jamaluddin Afghani, etc. You can trace it back to those days. And the Khalifa concept, all those things is a long history, long story. Takes a long time to speak. So this what's his name? The chief of army. I don't remember. I'll tell you. So, Munir, I suppose, if I'm not wrong. Munir, or something like. So this person is explicitly giving very fiery lecture very recently, which became very popular, that Hindus and Muslims can't live together. That's impossible. What kind of nonsense? How can Hindus and Muslims not live together? You don't see us. You don't see the rest of the world, where everyone lives together no matter what their religion is. That they don't want to see. I want to project this: Hindus and Muslims can't live together, so the two-nation theory is right, etc. But this man is not addressing at least 200 commissioned officers in the Pakistan army who are Hindus. How would they take it? What would they feel? They will be so desperately oppressed and suppressed, and they'll keep quiet under enormous compulsions. And the chief is saying this. How does such people look at his subordinates? There are some colonels, Hindu colonels in Pakistan army. There should be some Christians, and there should be some other varieties of Islam, which these people don't recognize as Muslim, as Muslims, etc. For instance, the Ahmadiyyas, etc. And of course the Shias, of course. So this kind of moments put forward with this situation, when our Prime Minister is in Saudi, the US Vice President is in part of the family, and just like the Hamas kill, who Hamas wants to kill Jews. At that, in their context, only Jews. These terrorists, who are the proxy of Lashkar, wants to kill only Hindus. Look at their attitude. They ask the names of the people. The news also says that they checked the credentials, checked the IDs, and confirmed that they are non-Muslims, and then killed them. This is a typical kind of Hamas operation. Now, Pakistani YouTubers, Pakistani common people out there in the street. Now, Pakistan has got this funny kind of YouTube. They carry the mic and go around vegetable markets, catch anyone and ask questions. That what do you think of this? What do you think? And that person, irrespective of his knowledge, whatever, irrespective of education, qualification, whatever, irrespective of whatever it is, whatever, he gives out his wisdom, and he will give it instant solutions to complications, whatever is put forward him. Wonderful solutions. Of course, that highlights how stupid they are, asking questions. And everyone speaks one thing: we want we want peace with Bharat. We want trade with Bharat. Only thing Bharat treats us as enemies. Our External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar repeatedly said that it's a waste of time talking to Pakistan precisely for this reason. They have to say one thing and do exactly something else. How can you trust? Technically and structurally, we can't trust Pakistan because Pakistan runs several parallel administrations, primarily the army, the radicals, and then the so-called elected helpless puppets. These are the important parallel administrations. Apart from this, there are so many administrations, including terrorist outfits. I don't know. They have to take a list of terrorists. I mean, I don't think they themselves shall have a terrorist outfit, a list of terrorists outfits in Pakistan. So many parallel administrations running. Who will you talk to? Who is accountable? And who can make sense, who can make any kind of discussions sensibly? There's no one. It's no one. It's anybody's game in Pakistan. Anybody's game. Everybody does anything. So it's natural that our External Affairs Minister said it's a waste of time talking to them. So it's better don't talk. Why do you waste time and energy and words with these people who don't mean anything? They don't mean anything, whatever they say, because there is no unity of thought and action. Here there is no unity of talk and action. They do whatever they feel like, irrespective of whatever they speak. So this is what Pakistani YouTubers say. This is what Pakistani YouTubers show, that this is the feeling of the people. They want to befriend Bharat. They want to be friendly. Yeah. Whenever we try to be friendly with Bharat, this is what you do. It is a proxy of a proxy terrorist outfit, sends people, infiltrates. Obviously, there is lapse from our intelligence. Obviously, that of course there are people sitting who would correct it. Sending terrorists and just finding out some people, tourists who went from all over. There are foreigners also. And then find out their religion and keep them separate and shoot them to kill. If you remember Punjab, when that time the Pakistanis created a Khalistan movement in Punjab, the Pakistanis created a lot of proxies. Pakistani soldiers, now they normally have beard, so they will tie a turban on their head and disguise themselves as Sikhs. And they come forward. They came into Pakistan, Punjab, and I think a marriage. Several incidents, not one, but one I remember. There was a marriage going on. A Punjabi marriage in Bharat's Punjab, or real Punjab, is that Sikhs and the Hindus are blood relations. They don't treat one another as different religions. For us, it is dharma, and dharma is dharma. Everything is dharma for us. That's a very epistemology of coexistence of the multiple faith system in Bharat. So we don't have contradiction with any religion. So different dharmas. So they marry one another. Sikhs and Hindus do marry one another. So in any marriage, if you go to Punjab, you will find some relatives are Sikhs and some relatives are Hindus. This you go to anyone, you just go and find out for yourselves. I had my graduation from Punjab. I know that place. I lived there. So you just go and find out this. So in a marriage party, these Pakistani terrorists, this Pakistani army, who disguise themselves as Sikhs, put a turban on their head. They already have beard, and of course, if you closely watch a very seriously rigid religious Sikh, he doesn't cut his beard and doesn't cut his hair. He puts a net or he puts something and keeps his beard intact, or just lets it loose. So these people, of course, are cutting their beard, though sometimes longer. The Sikh will never keep it like the Muslims. There's a difference, subtle difference you can find out. So they go there, and the same pattern they adopted. Sikhs go back. We are only going to kill Hindus in a marriage party. But how can the Sikhs there would allow that, because they are relations? And in Punjab, in Bharat's Punjab, we don't, of course, don't consider Pakistan's Punjab as Punjab, so I will only say as Punjab. In Punjab, there is no difference between Sikh and Hindus. Pakistanis reads difference between Sikh and Hindus, but not we. We don't make any difference at all. The Sikhs refused. The Sikhs refused. They would not move. They will not move. They don't want such a discrimination. They have never made such discriminations of Sikh and Hindu. It's this Pakistan which made, and they have instigated this Khalistan movement. It was the real, both Sikhs and Hindus have nothing to do with the Khalistan movement, except some people who were puppeted by the Pakistani intelligence those days. This is precisely what happened. Same thing they repeated in Pelgam, in Kashmir. Muslims out. We are only targeting the Hindus. Yes, nothing new, nothing new. This is what Pakistan behaves now. Many people are making emotional outbursts. I have seen Major Gaurav Bharia. Of course, he's a soldier, army man. He will be reasonably. He has all reasons to explode himself in anger. Very agitated, very agitated. He is telling, "Don't ask me not to be emotional. I am not dead." That kind of thing, of course. But don't worry, don't worry. The nation, Bharat, as on today, is in very deft hands. The rulers are very wise. They know what to do, when to do, how to do, and where to do. So we don't have to bother about it. They know. Be with the government of Bharat, physically, mentally, wherever it is possible, however it is possible. We can do a lot of things from our small space, what we occupy in this nation. But rest assured, this nation is now governed by people who are dharmic. They are Nishthavan people. They are very righteous people. They are dharmic. That's the right word. I don't have an equivalent word in English for that. The very dharmic people. They will always do the right thing, especially with collective wisdom. It's not that one judge sitting and creating an impression. No, it's a collective wisdom. That's a real tradition of Bharat, collective wisdom. We don't have individual philosophers more. We have collective philosophy, that is schools. Individuals belong there. We have schools of thoughts. Similarly, our government's collective wisdom. It's not that one judge thinks something which he wants to be correct. He can go wrong because an individual. But when it's this collective wisdom, as it's the case in Bharatiya Sanskriti, as it's the case in Bharatiya Darshana, which is philosophy, that it's schools of thought, people think together. Our leaders, our government, they have collective wisdom. They will do the most appropriate thing in the most appropriate manner at the most appropriate time. It's their job. We only have to support them emotionally, at least. That will do. Things will be taken care of. We don't have to bother. Things are in the right hands. We shall meet again with some other thoughts. Namaste, Jai Bharat and Jai Sri Ram.